Do you have the courage to take apart Canon's latest camera, the R5 Mark II, just to see what's inside? A camera costing $42.99. And now 6 weeks after the camera's shipped, we're starting to see teardown videos. But before we get to the details, please subscribe to this channel. It doesn't cost you anything, helps this channel grow, and keeps you up to date on the latest camera coverage. Before we go any further, I don't recommend taking apart your camera, whether it's the R5 Mark II or any other camera, unless of course you're trained. Well, now that we've got the lawyers satisfied, this first observation of the Calari teardown of the R5 Mark II is simply the number of screws that you have to remove. This certainly isn't a task for anyone with a carpal tunnel syndrome. Okay, that was just a warm-up. I'm not going to show you the entire Calari video in this video with me providing commentary over it. It just doesn't seem to me that that's fair to Calari, who spent the time and effort to put together this short video. I think what Calari's done here, though, is to create this video not for the benefit of you and I, but to help sell their heat sinks, filters, and teardown kits for the Mark I and the Mark II. That being said, this also isn't a paid advertisement for Calari. However, if you do want to catch their full video, I do have a link in the description down below. But now let's get to that other observation, and this one, well, this one is rather eye-opening. Outside of the number of screws holding the camera together and the new electronic viewfinder, the scenes concerning the new thermal architecture are noteworthy. The intake vent is on the bottom of the camera, with the exit vent on the top right by the USB port. Top left if you're looking at the camera head on. Instead of a series of heat pipes that we would see in other electronics, Canon has gone for a cavernous space to collect and dissipate the heat from the internal components, like the digic accelerator, image processor, and sensor. And due to the large size of this cavernous cavity, the thermal architecture of the R5 Mark II is able to take all the heat from various components, such as the digic accelerator, image processor, sensor, but also another rather large heat generator, and that's the CF Express Type B card. And that would explain why I haven't received any overheat warnings despite shooting hours upon hours of video in 80-degree heat, or 27.536 if you're talking Celsius. And I know what you're thinking. The teardown of the R5 Mark II showing this cavernous cavity looks very different from what we saw in a previous patent filing application. I believe it was Canon Patent Filing JP 2023 170599, and in that patent application we saw heat pipes, but we didn't see a cavernous cavity, or did we? Let's have a look-see. In Canon Patent Application JP 2023 170599, filed in 2022 and published last year in 2023, Canon shows a series of channels or heat pipes through various figures that are intended to draw hot air from all those internal components to the external environment, pulling the air from around the top and center of the camera, which differs from what we see in this teardown by Calari. But if we take a closer look at figure 5B, we can see a large cavernous area in conjunction with the heat pipes. The patent reads, "The duct system spatially separates internal components. The image pickup element and the control circuit board use airflow for cooling." Don't you just love those machine translated from Japanese to English, where the original text is written by engineers and proofread by lawyers? They can be a little bit hard to understand, but when they're talking about spatially, in this particular instance, they're talking about, in conjunction with figure 5B, a larger, more cavernous area. But what Canon's done here is they've simplified the implementation in the R5 Mark II by requiring fewer parts. We don't see those spiral heat pipes around the top of the camera, and we don't see any internal active cooling components. And of course, all those active cooling components that were talked about in this patent application, as well as a few others, they've been removed from the internal components of the camera and placed in a cooling grip. This one here, the CF, R20EP. Now, be careful if you're interested in buying this. Don't get it mixed up with the other cooling or battery grip by almost the same name. So instead of having CF, it has BG and it's R20EP. Why do I say this? Well, because while I had told the camera retailer that I purchased this from, yes, I want the cooling grip, the CF R20EP, guess what I was shipped? Not the CF, but the BG. So just to keep that in mind, you want to get the CF R20 EP. But going back to the Kalari video, at the end, Kalari does say that they're going to release a longer, more detailed video. And I'm looking forward to seeing that new, longer, detailed video. But to recap here, my experience with the Canon EOS R5 Mark II without the cooling grip, in temperatures of 80 degrees Fahrenheit, roughly 27.576 degrees Celsius, the camera hasn't overheated in any mode, not 4K fine, not shooting 30 frames per second with pre-capture turned on. I haven't seen even that little indicator come up to indicate that the camera is starting to get a little bit warm. Nothing, it's just gone and gone and gone. And when I got the R5 Mark I, well, I always had range anxiety. I was always worried if the camera was going to overheat, whether I was going to be able to get in all the shooting I needed. And I always need to allow several minutes of cool down time between different shoots, and it was frustrating. I'm happy to say that with the R5 Mark II, range anxiety is gone, at least here in Canada. Now, what is it going to be like in your area? Well, this is where you can help me out by posting in the comment section down below where you live, what the temperature is, and your experience with the R5 Mark II. And if you're interested in the R5 Mark II, it still costs $42.99. And for those of you that have asked me if I think it's going to drop in price by Black Friday, no, not a chance. Canon's still having trouble getting enough units shipped. However, the Mark I is $28.99, but it's still possible we could see that price drop a little bit further just for Black Friday, though it might be just limited to a few retailers. And if you're interested in purchasing the Canon EOS R5 Mark II or the Mark I, which is $28.99, please consider using my affiliate links down below. These guys right here. I have affiliate links to Adorama, B&H, and Amazon.com. However, I do need to be transparent. If you do use these links, I can get a commission back of anywhere from 2 to 5%. And essentially, that's what keeps this channel on the air. A big thanks to those of you that have used my affiliate links in the past. But also, I don't want you to feel pressured that you have to. I'm just happy that you come here, you comment, you enjoy my videos. I also think it's very important to support your local camera stores. Despite having a good relationship with B&H and Adorama, I still buy from my local camera store because I think it's very important to support your local businesses, because if we don't, well, then we won't have that opportunity anymore. And to me, there's nothing like walking into a store, trying something out, feeling it in our hands, than ordering it online. I told you the first time I saw the R50 and the R100 in person, I was shocked at how small they were. Compared to the Canon 70D, which I have right here, they're significantly smaller. And yes, online you can see people holding them up to their faces and shooting, and if you really pay attention, you can see how small they are. But when you have them in your hands and you feel how they are, that's something you can only get with your local camera store. So support your local camera stores. And I also understand that if you're not in Canada or the United States, then you might not be able to use my affiliate links. But also for Canada, the local camera store that I use quite often is Downtown Camera in Toronto, and Patrick is my primary sales guy. Wherever you are in Canada, he offers free shipping. And mention my name and ask him if he can sharpen his pencil on whatever it is you're looking at buying. Don't be surprised if he does. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a great weekend, and we'll see you again soon. And oh, I'm getting some unvalidated information at this point that in November, we might very well get I wouldn't say a series of, but multiple, more than one high-end Canon lenses. The kind of lenses that get the white paint treatment. At this point, I would put it I'd say it's unvalidated. And maybe you've overheard something, you can reach out to me, because at this point, I'm trying to find out. It's a month away. As we get closer, I should know a lot more, but at this point, I just want to let you know that keep an eye out for mid to late November, because I think Canon might be releasing some lenses that you might be interested in. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a great weekend, and we'll see you again soon.